All right, let's get right into it. The world of academic research, it's being totally transformed by artificial intelligence. Today, we're going to break down exactly how you can use these incredible new tools as your own personal research co-pilot, helping you navigate every single stage of your work, from discovery all the way to that final draft. You know this feeling, right? If you're a researcher, you are all too familiar with it. It's that feeling of just being completely swamped by the sheer number of new studies coming out every single day. Trying to keep up can feel like you're trying to drink from a fire hose. And that really is the heart of the matter. The problem isn't a lack of information anymore. A simple keyword search can dump thousands of results on your lap. But then what? The real challenge is making sense of it all. And that's exactly where AI comes in. Not just as a fancier search engine, but as an intelligent partner to help you manage and actually understand this flood of knowledge. So let's start at the very beginning of any research project, the discovery phase. This is all about finding the most relevant, the most important, and, sometimes the most overlooked papers in your field. Think about it. A traditional keyword search is pretty linear. You type in a term, you get a list back. End of story. But AI-powered discovery, it's way more dynamic. It's not just matching words, it's understanding concepts. It's like it builds this huge interconnected map of the entire research landscape, showing you connections between ideas you would have never found on your own. So what does that actually look like? Well, take a tool like ResearchRabbit. People call it the Spotify for research, and that's a pretty great description. You give it one key paper, and bam, it generates this whole galaxy of related work, introducing you to influential studies you didn't even know existed. It proves that citation networks are often way more powerful than simple keywords. And then there's Litmaps, which creates these incredible visual timelines. You can literally watch the story of an idea develop through its citation history. It's like a time-lapse of knowledge itself. Okay, so you've gathered your mountain of papers. Awesome. The next big hurdle is actually digesting all of it. The goal here is to move from just having a pile of PDFs to really understanding the deep patterns and the big conversations happening in the literature. And the key technology here is something called automated data extraction. This is where an AI can basically read a dense 40-page paper in just a few seconds. It pulls out all the critical info you need, the methods, the sample size, the key findings, and organizes it for you. I mean, think about the hours or even days of manual work that saves you. It's absolutely incredible. So here are a few tools that are amazing at this. You've got Scholarcy, which instantly creates a structured summary of any paper. Think of it like an abstract on steroids. Then there's Elicit. With Elicit, you can ask a direct question like, what are the effects of exercise on cognitive decline? And it will actually scan tons of studies to synthesize an answer for you. And then there are tools like Evidence Table Builder, which does exactly what it sounds like. It pulls data from a whole bunch of PDFs and neatly organizes it all into a spreadsheet, ready for your analysis. And this example of an AI-generated table shows you exactly why this is so powerful. Look, it's not just pulling out data. It's giving you the verbatim quote from the source text, it's telling you the exact page and section it came from, and it even gives you a confidence score on its accuracy. That level of transparency and traceability is a total game changer, especially if you're doing something like a systematic review. All right, so you've found your papers, you've analyzed the data, now comes the hard part, the writing. Let's talk about how AI can step in as a writing assistant, helping you polish your draft while making sure you stay on the right side of those very important ethical lines. And this is maybe the most important thing to remember. These tools are your assistants, not your authors. Their job is to help you refine your writing, not to do the writing for you. They can help you improve a sentence, check your tone, and make things clearer. But the core ideas, the arguments, the intellectual heavy lifting, that has to be, and always will be, yours. Now, tools like PaperPal are built specifically for this. They give you instant feedback to help get your writing up to that journal-level standard. And a tool like Writeful is really fascinating because it doesn't just check your grammar against, standard English. It actually checks it against a massive database of published academic papers to make sure your phrasing and your tone are just right for scholarly communication. But of course, with all this incredible power comes some pretty significant responsibilities. So now we have to talk about the ethical rulebook for using AI in your research. This is crucial. It really boils down to this one single question. It's the most important one you have to ask yourself. If an AI makes a mistake, if it hallucinates a citation, or if it misrepresents some data, who's on the hook for that? Well, the answer couldn't be clearer, and universities are making their stance known. This quote from the University of Toronto says it all. You are. The researcher, that's you, is always 100% responsible for the final work, no matter what tools you use to get there. Full stop. And you have to be really aware of the risks. Inaccuracy is a huge one. AIs are famous for just making things up. We call them hallucinations. And even citing papers that don't exist. There's also the risk that you might start to hinder your own skills. Writing is thinking, right? And if you outsource too much of that process, your own critical thinking muscles can get weaker. And finally, remember, the work has to be fundamentally yours to meet any originality requirements. So, to keep your academic integrity intact, you just need to follow these 4 golden rules. 1. Get your supervisor's approval first. Make sure you're both on the same page. 2. Disclose how you're using these tools. Transparency is key. 3. Verify every single fact and citation. You have to be the fact checker. And 4. Never forget that you are the author. The buck stops with you. So let's wrap this up and take a look at the big picture, this new partnership between the human researcher and the AI. When it comes right down to it, AI is not a shortcut to avoid the hard work of research. It's a tool to help you work smarter. It's about automating the tedious, repetitive parts and revealing those hidden connections so that you can free up your time and your brain power to focus on what humans do best, thinking critically, interpreting data, and coming up with brand new ideas. It's your co-pilot, not your autopilot. By letting these AI tools handle some of the tedious navigation and the heavy lifting, we're given this incredible capacity to ask bigger questions, to explore intellectual territories that might have seemed out of reach before. So the final question really isn't just about what we can discover, but with this powerful new co-pilot by our side, where will we choose to go next?